Get to work. Go on.
So this was entirely wet sanded, and I'll definitely record the next one because having that emerge from the paint was definitely an interesting sight. I haven't done the inner tube. What I'll be doing is getting a paper towel tube or something, wrapping that in sandpaper, and then getting the curved surface that way. Otherwise this is definitely too delicate. I did do it a little bit at the end here, and I even did a little shaping while I was at it just to help improve that nose. Unfortunately for me, that essentially negates all of the paintwork I just did, but I should be able to patch that up. Let's watch and see. Up here did separate from the back just a little while I was sanding, but overall this was remarkably strong all along all the edges. So I was very happy about that. A little more shaping up here at the end to kind of symmetrize those. So what I'm going to do now is wash it off in the shower, and let's see how it looks next. There isn't a good way for me to set up a tripod and the camera in the bathroom to get the actual washing experience, but essentially after wet sanding this, took it into the shower, washed it down, took a sponge to it, washed it all down. So before it pretty much looked like this. So once I do that to this, let's see it before and after. While in there, I did a little reshaping along some of the edges, smoothed them out. I couldn't quite get rid of the crack that's in there, but I also did do a lot more shaping up here to help that out. Now I think that's going to look much more like this. Of course, I did just expose a whole lot of bare plastic doing it, but I think it's worth it. Any last shaping I'll be able to do just with sandpaper. And of course, I still have to do the inside here. I'll be using a paper towel tube or similar wrapped in sandpaper and just roll that around here to get the smoothest possible, no sharp angles whatsoever kind of sanding going on. Some real beautiful noise. That's just a really nice area right there. So it turns out on the PVC tube underneath this, there are in fact 3 drillish marks in those places, so that's where that came from. And whether I putty over that or do something else, we'll see. Probably some silver Sharpie will do. So as I can't see what's in any given shot, I'm just going to try and get the whole table here because this is a big piece of work. I got a mask going on. We got water. We got the Makita. We got a crappy spray bottle. Before washing and after. This is of course pre-sanding of the torpedo tube itself, but the outer housing is complete. So nice. Layers upon layers of all that crystallization going on. This still may be too strong. I won't know until I actually put this next to the car and see it. So there may be one more paint layer in here with yet one more salt layer, in which case I would keep little things like this and not worry about stuff like, well, keep some of that of course, that's really beautiful. But yeah, so really nice, really convincing in there. I hope I get to use, well, some of this is going to get chopped off unfortunately. Maybe I can use it on the rear, the aft of the doors, because there's still another insert to do once these guys are on. So time to get sanding. And after a rinse, I've got to do a little more sanding here. The lower side of the symmetry is a little off, so that just needs to be fixed a dash. But everything else is looking really nice. So what I think is going to be going on is that I am going to salt these guys one last time and then go for a master white coat. Probably a few layers, get it nice and decently heavy, and then sand that down, and a lot of that should reveal everything that's under here, and it's going to look really nice. I think it's just a little too old, but first, before I do any of that, I'll bring these down to the car and see how they look on the side, because that's the most important thing. However, I do think they will be getting one more coat overall. That's such beautiful noise going on in there. That looks pretty rough, but it's actually fairly smooth. One thing I am wishing is that I spent more time on my rust layers, because there's a few sections that are like this, just big barren brown spots where there should be lots of speckles of little colors going on, yellows and oranges and browns, if not two browns. And looking at these, I realized the way to go about doing that for the next time that I do it. That's kind of nice in there. Some really nice little bits of silver hits everywhere. A little more work to do in this area, not too much. Might wait, well, no, I should do any more finishing before I go for the next paint layer, of course. That's really nice.